Could you? Hello, Central Illinois. I'm Renee Haraney, and this is the Peoria Professional Show. Each Thursday morning, I bring a very special guest to introduce to you somebody that's really doing something special in the Central Illinois area, and you need to hear their story. And today, my very special guest is Rhonda Washer. Good morning, Rhonda.
Good morning, Renee. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. So I just wanted, I want you to share your story with everyone. Rhonda had breast cancer in 1998, so about 19 years ago or so, and it has led you on a journey, right?
Yes.
And first of all, we're grateful that you are still here and healthy
too.
and, like looking great, but you are now helping people in at least a couple of different ways. But I want you to share your story, a little bit about, what happened initially with the cancer, and then how you're helping other people who may be in a similar situation or even have other problems health related that you can help with. So let's start with your story about the cancer.
Well, at the time I was diagnosed, I had 3 corporations. Two that Peorians might be familiar with was LifePath School of Massage Therapy and LifePath Center for Therapeutic Massage and Well-Being. And once I was diagnosed, then of course you have to go through all the treatments and everything. And so I was working less, and I was not able to, and I was doing some holistic things too. So I was spending a lot of money, but I was doing whatever I could because I had 11 positive nodes out of 14.
Wow.
And 2 tumors in one breast.
Oh.
So it was not a pretty picture, and so I was going to do whatever I could. And
I love that spirit.
well, I wasn't ready to die, I'll tell you. Yeah. And so when I started the journey to see what I could do to help myself, I did everything. I did what the doctors told me to do. I did the chemo, the radiation, the mastectomy, the whole thing. And then about a year later, well, not quite a year later, but I thought, well, yeah, I'll go to this healing shaman, too. I would cover all bases.
I guess. Never heard of a healing shaman.
I know. I went up to Chicago. There was this gal, and I'm lying on the floor, and she's doing this weird stuff around me, and I'm thinking, I'm a halfway intelligent person, and she is doing weird stuff, and I'm letting her, And then she finally finishes and says, I see dragonflies all around you.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means. So on my way home, I was driving home thinking, this is a crazy lady, just ignore it. And I stopped at Cracker Barrel, and I saw this huge dragonfly clothing and paraphernalia. And so I thought I had to buy one,
Okay.
When I got back to my office, I noticed I had on my very own wall a dragonfly plaque. And I don't remember seeing dragonflies.
So
and
funny.
So, yeah, it was just really weird. And then I I got a message, so to speak, to go visit a friend. And when I got to the friend, there were dragonflies all over the lawn. And so I said, does this ever happen? And they said, no, and we've never seen it. And it turns out she had breast cancer, and she was dying, and the family was there. And I worked on her doing some Reiki energy work, and she awakened long enough to say goodbye to the family, and they were very grateful.
Oh.
So, but I got back to my office, and I was shaken a little bit, and this huge it was summer, my windows were open, and this huge dragonfly was like trying to get into my car. And I thought, this is just too weird. This dragonfly thing has just gone too far. So over time, and I had I was starting to have pain in my throat.
Okay.
Now, if you know people that have had breast cancer, many end up with thyroid cancer, and other issues to do with cancer. And so I was working with a friend of mine who's a holistic dentist, but we were both doing a technique called craniosacral therapy.
Okay.
So we're doing this therapy, and she says, a patient of mine cured himself from lung cancer. And I thought, you don't just cure yourself from lung cancer. So I was curious, and she said, well, go look up Dr. Royal Rife and his research. It turns out I didn't have time until the afternoon, and I looked up Dr. Royal Rife, and he had been doing experiments, and in fact, working with 3 universities and terminally ill cancer patients. And so I was intrigued by the research. Ultimately, they were about to announce the success of their research, and the people at the top of the research group disappeared or had heart attacks, or it never was announced to the public.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. But anyway, I'm looking at this website, and they had a Rife machine that you could purchase. And oh my God, it's $2,000, and that's a lot of money. I didn't have $2,000 to spend, and
you had spent all this other money.
I spent everything else, right? So I couldn't see myself buying that machine. But I was intrigued by Dr. Rife's research. And so when I went to the machine, I clicked on it to see more information about it. And then I looked up at the website, and it was www.dragonfly.com.
No, I knew you were going to say that.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I had tears running. I mean, I was so freaked out and crying. And I mean, oh my God, now I have to get the machine. Right?
Yeah.
So I got one of the earliest Wellness Pro machines. Okay. And that's something I'm a factory distributor for. And it's for all pain. Mm-hmm. But I used it, and within a week, I was having pain even swallowing. Mm. And within a week, it was gone.
Wow. How often did you have to use the machine?
I used it every day. There's no side effects with the unit at all. Mm-hmm. Now, the FDA has classified it as a TENS, which is a transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation. That's what they labeled it as. But there was no classification for such an advanced machine. This device has 1,000 conditions programmed into it to affect the very tissues and the frequencies that need to affect the tissue. So, for example, heart tissue has a different frequency than kidney tissue, a different frequency than skin, epidermal tissue, different frequency than nerve tissue. Mm-hmm. So this machine addresses specific frequencies for specific conditions.
What would a person do if they had 2 of those conditions and they had different? Like, they do 2 treatments at different frequencies?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And this new machine has the capability of doing, the codes are put into the machine. They're programmed in the machine. It's a little computer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can see this here. This is the machine right here. Mm-hmm. And leads come out of it, and you can hold probes. You could also stick it on, like if you have a wrist issue, you might put one of the pads here, one of the pads here, so that the frequency goes through, which is what I did for my tennis elbow. I mean, it was wonderful, and it goes away. So, and there's no side effects. So when you have 2 conditions, this unit is able to, you can put in different codes for the same condition, or you can even switch to different codes in the same session. Mm-hmm. You can even change how long you're sitting there. So it'll default to 3 minutes on a frequency, and you can change it to 1 minute on a frequency or 5 minutes on a frequency,
Wow.
depending on how long you want to sit there.
Yeah. So that's pretty amazing. So I had done a little research before this, and on one of these videos I saw on YouTube, a nurse said that she recommends it to all of her patients with any kind of pain. That's saying something.
Huge. It's huge. And, when I tell people about this and they start telling me about a little TENS unit they can get at the drugstore, or their chiropractor has a TENS unit for $20, $30, $40, $50, they don't want to think about spending, the money for this, but this is for everything. Currently, I'm using it I use it occasionally for cancer. I don't use it every day. I use it maybe once a month for cancer.
Because you're wanting to just continue to keep it at bay.
Right.
That's, yeah.
Exactly. And not that I have cancer pain at this point, even though I use it. We can't say it cures anything, but it is for pain. However, I did have a video on my website at one point. It was brain cancer cells. And when exposed to the right frequency, within 14 seconds, the cancer cells exploded.
What? 14 seconds?
14 to 16 seconds, those cancer cells exploded.
Oh my gosh.
That video is no longer on my site.
Why's that?
I don't know. I didn't take it off.
Wow.
So, I'm just saying that, I think this technology is so advanced. And I just don't think enough people know about it, but it's hard to advertise, because all we can say is it's for pain. Some of these conditions, we have sporting teams that have units.
Right.
MD Anderson has units. St. Jude has units. We have clinics that have nothing but these units in their offices, and 2 people can even use it at the same time, because you have leads coming off one, and the device actually splits, so you can have one person doing one set of codes and another person doing another set of codes. And
wow.
I train people to use it.
Yeah. Okay, so arthritis.
Yeah.
Both kinds, osteo and rheumatoid arthritis. That's pretty amazing. So I'm curious, if a person basically has arthritis, like head to toe sort of thing, how would they use the machine?
Well, when you use it, you can also have foot pads.
Okay.
So, I'll use it for my knees, and I'll put my feet on the foot pads, and then it comes up your legs and, covers
Wow.
and for breast cancer, I would use the probes, and then the frequency goes up, if you don't break the chain, so to speak. So,
yeah.
And for Parkinson's, I have ear clips, and I use it, and it comes across my brain.
Okay, tell our audience a little bit about that. Because we
Parkinson's?
talked yeah.
Oh, yeah. My grandmother had Parkinson's. And now, again, this is only for Parkinson's pain. So I thought, well, what have I got to lose? And
because you already had the machine.
I had the machine. And my grandmother had it, and I saw what she went through. Well, about 4 years ago, I was trying to tweeze my eyebrows. And I could not tweeze my eyebrows. My hand was going like, I thought, oh, here it goes.
Scary.
Yeah, I was scared. And I thought, oh my God, well, I'll give it another month or two. And this didn't get better. And so I started using the device for Parkinson's. And it was, this is what they call the pencil test.
Okay.
This is 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm a happy camper.
Yeah.
Now, I still use it for Parkinson's, again, maybe once a month, once or twice a month. I would not give up this machine for anything.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah.
It's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
I was able to put off back surgery. I have arthritis in my spine.
Okay.
And I was able to put off back surgery for many years until I fell. And then it was, it was acute.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't do it anymore. So I had to have surgery. But what I did was I used the device before surgery and after surgery, and the doctor was very impressed that I got better as fast as I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't even stay overnight in the hospital.
Wow.
After back surgery.
Yeah. So I know it's like, what'd you say, about $3,000 or something like that?
Yes, it's $34.95.
So okay.
For a physician, there's a $500 discount.
Mm-hmm. Do they have like payment plans or anything like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. You can put $1,500 down and then pay as little as $100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But
and
you
how
have
long
to
does
put
it last?
$1,500 down. The machine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I've had it for. Well, I've upgraded. They keep doing research.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the research comes out of Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And so every time the machine now, the device is built so that it can be expandable to these new technologies. Mm-hmm. So I've had my machine right now for at least 3 years. I upgraded because they have a new, the Wellness Pro Plus is an advanced from the Wellness Pro. Mm-hmm. So whenever they come out with something advanced, I would get a new unit. But now that this unit is expandable,
Wow.
I expect to keep this unit for a very long time.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm thinking, more doctors' offices should carry this, especially like chiropractors.
You would think.
Like that would be a good thing for them to supplement another way of them helping their patients.
I would think, but many chiropractors have these cheaper units that they can sell to their patients. The other units, and that's what they're doing in Texas. They have whole clinics of these, and they charge per session, mm-hmm. and they're doing very, very well. And then if a patient likes it that much, they can purchase one and take it home. Mm-hmm. I think it's convenient to just have it home.
Okay, so Rhonda, we could probably talk about this all day long because it's so fascinating. But I want you to also share with our audience what is this supplemental coverage that you're so excited about and you're helping people with?
When I lost my job a little over a year ago, I had sold my corporations because of cancer. I couldn't work full time anymore because of the side effects of cancer, lymphedema, and there are just many things. I would get cellulitis, and so working as a massage therapist anymore was difficult. Mm-hmm. So what happens when you are not working as much, and then you're still trying to do many things to help yourself, your income goes down, your expenses go up, mm-hmm. and who's taking care of you? So I recognized, and when I had cancer, I had to go into my investments. I had to liquidate because, my doctor bills were taken care of by my health insurance. The hospital bills were taken care of by my health insurance. But who's paying my electricity?
Right.
Who's paying for my gas? Who's paying for my food? Who's paying my premiums for the expensive health insurance?
Right, yeah.
No one's paying me.
Insurance is great if you can pay the premiums.
And so I was looking for another job, and I was praying for something that would be helpful to other people, and I would be able to make as much money as depending on how hard I want to work. Mm-hmm. So I was looking, and I had my resume online, mm-hmm. and people were writing to me because they saw my resume. Mm-hmm.
Because you have a very extensive background, very successful.
Career. I've done a lot. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm an old fart, So, but I've done a lot. But when they see my resume, they write to me, and a lot of the ones that wrote to me were obviously insurance companies. Now, having gone through cancer, I hate insurance companies. Mm. I think they're greedy. Mm-hmm. I think the premiums go up. They're They don't, you have to fight for what you're paying for. And if you go on the phone, you're lucky to talk to someone in 45 minutes. And so having dealt with insurance companies, I definitely knew I didn't want to work with an insurance company. Well, this one email came to me, and it looked like an insurance company. So I went to delete it.
Can't get there quick enough, can you?
I couldn't. But you know what? My finger would not go down. I swear to you, my finger stopped. And I thought, that's weird. So I did it again, and my finger stopped. So I thought,
bizarre.
I better look at this.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and it said something about cancer, and I thought, well, maybe I'll look a little further. And so I started really looking at this family heritage and their products. And I was very impressed. And the more I checked into it, the more I liked. This is an unusual company. And so when I looked into it, it's for cancer, heart, stroke, accident, injury, ICU. They also have life. But the impressive part is that the premiums don't go up like health insurance. Once you
lock in?
Once you enroll, that's it. And it doesn't go up. They haven't raised premium. As the director here at Inspire Providers, he's been here for 26 years and it's never gone up.
Wow, 26 years? I'm thinking you're going to tell me that this company's 4 years old or something.
No, yeah. He's been doing this for... And not only that, for him, he has never seen anyone turned down. A claim has not been turned down.
Wow.
And I experienced that with someone. They bought a policy for accident injury. Well, she had a pre-existing condition where she had surgery on her foot, but then she had the policy, and then she went walking, and it broke open the stitches, so she had to go to the emergency room. They paid that. She called me up and said, I found money in my account.
Wow.
And I said, I was surprised, but, that's how amazing this company is. And the best thing of all is you get your premiums back. They do not keep your premium. I know. I ask the same question. And I hear this all the time. Sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
But you get your premiums back. And if you don't need the coverage, you don't need the benefits, after 20, 25 years, depending on the policy you get your premiums back. We had a couple that came back from Hawaii recently on the return of premium.
Okay, so how is it different than a regular health insurance?
Well, your health insurance pays your doctors and your hospitals. This, once you have, let's say for example, you have cancer, because I did. The moment you're diagnosed, depending on the level of coverage you have, and we have different levels, so it's affordable to everybody.
Okay.
And of course, the possibility I'll have a reoccurrence is high. So I took the elite, the top benefit level. So the moment I'm because I'm 10 years out, over 10 years out, so I could get it. So I'm not eliminated or excluded from this. So the moment I'm diagnosed, I'll get immediately $6,000. And that gets paid directly to me, tax-free, right into my bank account.
Wow.
So I can use that money any way I want. Okay? But in addition, every day I'm in radiation or chemotherapy. And you know how long radiation is, 30-some treatments. And chemo lasts, you have many treatments. I'll get $480 every single day.
Wow.
Every single time. Every day you're in the hospital, you get paid. So this is above and beyond any health insurance you have. This is not health insurance. It's coverage that supplements.
It's like for everything that the health insurance isn't paying for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't have a waiting period. They even have a wellness benefit. So I had a mammogram. I just faxed it to them, my mammogram that said Rhonda Washer and my birth date and the date I had the service. And right away, I was given the benefit
Wow.
paid
Yeah.
within 2 weeks. I mean, and it was no effort at all. I mean, I have never seen a company like this, and even where they could get you. So let's say you're married and you have a spouse who's older than you. Mm-hmm. Instead of taking the older person to base your premium on, they take the younger person. I have never heard of such a thing.
No, me neither.
And the same thing with your kids. If you do a family, if your kids turn 20, your youngest one turns 26, they can get their own policy, even if they've had cancer or heart, as long as they were covered. So they can get their own policy, and your policy goes down to the couple level. Mm-hmm. So it's decreased. Your premium's decreased.
Wow. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
You know what I love is how excited you get about it. And, we've been talking for a couple of weeks, and I can just tell you're the kind of person that's led by your heart.
Yeah.
Right? And so you have studied this. You're a brilliant business person. You have had lots of life experience with, owning your own businesses, as well as, going through cancer and doing all your own research, and, you're just so educated on these things, but mostly you want to help other people.
That's my mission. What happened to me should not happen to anybody else. You should not have to get sick and go through something like heart or stroke or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I encourage people to get the ICU too, because if you're in ICU and you had a heart attack, you get paid on both policies.
Yeah.
They're not stingy.
Well, and I know from personal experience that when you have a loved one in ICU, you just want to be there with them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you don't want to have to worry about going into the office.
Right.
So
now
we could talk all day about this.
I have people who, their mother and so forth, they want to be with their mother.
Yeah.
If their mother has a policy, you can go with them. Or, and
because that's really when you want to be there for your family, right?
So your mother can pay for the work you're missing.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Gosh, I just want to encourage everyone. We're about out of time, but I just want to encourage everyone to connect with Rhonda. I will put her contact information in the description of this video, and you're not a high pressure kind of person, but you're willing to share what you've learned and what you know, and all that. And so if you are in a position where, or just you care about your future and your finances, and you didn't win the lottery last month, connect with Rhonda, because it's going to be well worth your time. So just wanted to say thank you for watching Peoria Professional. I'm Renee Haraney. Rhonda Washer, thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll see you next Thursday.
You bet. It's great.
PeoriaLife.com